Welcome to the Bare Metal Cybersysm Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. Maintaining an incident response plan over time is essential to ensuring it remains relevant as the organization evolves and as threats become more sophisticated. As internal teams, systems, and priorities shift, the plan must be updated to reflect these realities so that it can still guide effective execution when an incident occurs. Keeping contact details, procedural steps, and escalation paths current is critical for avoiding confusion or delays. Aligning the plan with updated technologies and organizational goals ensures it continues to serve the business effectively. Regular maintenance also helps fulfill audit, certification, and regulatory requirements, all of which increasingly expect organizations to demonstrate that their response procedures are not only documented, but actively managed. A well-maintained plan dramatically reduces the risk of operational failure caused by outdated or incomplete guidance. There are several key triggers that should prompt a review of the incident response plan outside of the regular update cycle. When an organization undergoes restructuring or experiences staffing changes in key roles, response responsibilities and escalation chains must be revisited. The introduction of new systems, cloud platforms, or mission-critical applications is another prompt, as these technologies may require specific containment or recovery procedures. Legal and regulatory changes, as well as updated contractual obligations, must be reflected in the plan to ensure continued compliance. Findings from post-incident reviews or testing exercises frequently reveal gaps or improvement opportunities that need to be addressed through plan updates. Finally, when related frameworks, standards, or internal security policies are revised, the incident response plan must be adjusted to maintain consistency and alignment. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. To ensure consistent attention, organizations must establish a formal schedule for reviewing and updating the incident response plan. At a minimum, this review should be conducted annually, though higher frequency reviews may be appropriate for rapidly changing environments. Aligning the review cycle with related business continuity or enterprise risk management processes improves efficiency and cross-functional awareness. A specific role or team must be assigned to initiate and track the update process to avoid delays or lapses. These reviews should be incorporated into audit and compliance checkpoints to reinforce accountability. All findings and revisions must be thoroughly documented, including any approvals or sign-offs from relevant stakeholders to establish governance and ensure traceability. Verifying that all contact information and roles within the plan are accurate is a foundational aspect of maintenance. Internal escalation paths must be reviewed to confirm they reflect the current organizational structure, including any recent staffing changes. Third-party contacts, legal counsel, and regulatory reporting channels should also be checked and updated to ensure prompt coordination during events. Within the incident response team, assigned roles and backups should be validated to ensure coverage across time zones, shifts, and potential absences. Documentation of availability expectations and on-call procedures helps ensure that the team can be mobilized efficiently. Using role-based identifiers instead of named individuals when possible helps future-proof the plan and minimizes the number of changes required when personnel rotate. As technology environments evolve, the tools and systems referenced in the plan must be updated to ensure continued relevance and usability. The plan should accurately reflect current monitoring, detection, and alerting platforms that trigger the incident response process. Procedural steps involving logging systems, access control tools, or incident ticketing platforms must be revised to match actual configuration. If new platforms, such as cloud systems or containerized applications, have been added, containment and recovery instructions must reflect the specifics of those technologies. New data repositories or data flow changes, especially those involving cross-border data movement, should also be documented clearly. Any procedural changes related to these systems must be validated and tested as part of the update cycle to avoid surprises during real incidents. Lessons learned from previous incidents provide some of the most valuable input into improving the plan over time. After every event, post-incident reviews should be used to assess how well the plan functioned and identify any delays, miscommunications, or unclear instructions. Control failures or missteps should be carefully examined and incorporated into updated procedures to close known gaps. Root cause analysis and mitigation strategies must also be reflected in revised documentation to prevent repeat incidents. Corrective actions arising from the review should be formally tracked to completion, with testing or follow-up exercises confirming that the issues have been addressed. This approach transforms real-world experience into actionable improvements that make the plan stronger with every iteration. To function properly, the incident response plan must align with other operational plans within the organization. Any updates should be coordinated with revisions to disaster recovery, business continuity, and crisis communication plans to ensure dependencies and handoffs are clearly defined. Escalation levels and severity classifications must be validated for consistency across all plans to prevent conflicting actions or confusion. Reporting procedures, notification channels, and stakeholder engagement protocols should also be synchronized to ensure efficiency and compliance. These integration points must be well documented so they can be reviewed during audits or internal assessments. Effective alignment between plans ensures a unified, coherent response during complex events that affect multiple functions simultaneously. After the plan has been updated, it's essential to communicate those changes effectively to all impacted personnel. Teams with defined responsibilities must be notified of what has changed and why those changes were made, so they understand how their roles are affected. Refresher training should be provided to ensure everyone is familiar with the revised procedures and confident in their ability to execute them. Supporting materials, such as response playbooks, job aids, or awareness presentations, should also be updated where necessary. Exercises or knowledge checks may be used to verify that changes are understood and internalized. For compliance purposes, version acknowledgement logs should be maintained to track who has reviewed the latest version and when. Strong documentation and version control are key to effective plan maintenance. Every update should be assigned a unique version number and include a detailed change history outlining what was modified and why. Current and obsolete versions must be clearly marked to avoid confusion during a response scenario. The plan should be stored in secure yet accessible repositories that offer appropriate role-based permissions to prevent unauthorized access. Archived versions must be retained according to organizational retention policies and should be readily available for reference or audit. Distributing the plan should always include a summary of changes so recipients can quickly understand what's new without rereading the entire document. Oversight of the incident response plan's maintenance must be embedded within the organization's broader governance structure. Executive leadership should be assigned to provide high-level oversight and validate that the plan aligns with strategic risk objectives. Legal, compliance, and business continuity stakeholders should be involved in review cycles to ensure the plan meets regulatory expectations and supports operational resilience. Status updates on the plan's review and revision progress should be included in governance and risk committee reports. Metrics should be used to track the accuracy of the plan, its performance during exercises, and its relevance to recent incidents. When IRP maintenance is embedded into the organization's overall risk governance model, it becomes a strategic asset rather than an isolated document. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersystem Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.